All right, everybody, we're just going to continue on with our SAT literature passage. We reviewed in the previous video the rules that we would have of how we map through a passage, and now we're going to try an actual passage. Now, very importantly, remember that the SAT is going to give you difficult passages to read. And by difficult, especially with literature, it often means something that was written quite a while ago. For example, this one is, and I do not know how to pronounce that poor man's name, Guy de Maupassant. I don't know. But he's a French short story writer, primarily. And his works were written, I believe, in the late 1800s-ish. So, quite a while ago. And the reason for this, the reason why they chose something like this, is deliberate. The vocabulary and sentence structure in writings of that period of time are quite different than what we use today. And that's done intentionally. Not just to mess with your mind, but to test your ability to take something that's relatively unfamiliar and still derive a sense of what is going on with the story. All right, so you don't want to get thrown by if there's a word that you don't quite understand or something's going on with this. That's fine. Just kind of blip over it, get an overall sense of what's going on. So what I'm going to do is read through this passage here, and I think I went down to, yes, it's the lining on this is a little bit bizarre, but we're going to go through, where is it? Sorry, I'm losing my train of thought here. Oh, okay, so this just goes to this passage right here, and then it continues on just a little bit further, and we'll have some questions. So here, let's go through this. I'm not going to read it out loud. You can kind of follow along, but it looks like what we're introduced to here is we have this character, Monsieur Lantine, and a young girl. Okay, so remember we were thinking about plot and characters. So the plot seems to be these people meet. So I'm going to put L for Lantine and G for girl. L meets G. Okay, that's what's going on here. Now, again, fallen head over heels in love with her at the house of the second head of his department is her simple beauty, had the charm of angelic mind, blah, 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 blah. All this right here seems to be description of G. Description of G. And if we had to think about it, what kind of word could we use here that how the author's describing? It seems very positive. Simple beauty, charm, angelic modesty, smile, pure and lovely soul. All right, so I'm going to just say it seems like she's innocent and pure. Innocent, pure. Okay. All right, and he's in love. All right, so then he's described as a chief clerk, enjoys a snug little salary of this, proposed to this model young girl. She accepted. He was unspeakably happy. Governed his household with such clever economy. They seem to live in luxury. Okay, so then it seems like they marry, and they're happy. Marry plus happy. Okay, all right. So far so good. Then it gets into he found fault with only two of her tastes. Through love. Okay, okay, fault with taste. And then what is going on after time? She's the theater and imitation jewelry. Okay. What's going on? After time, request for lady, cavalier, bring her home. She posed. It's the infinite delight. Now it's love. Okay, so it seems like it's going on a lot with her about the theater, right? So we bring up theater here, home after the theater, love with the theater, desire for ornaments. So it seems like she's fault with taste. It seems like there's a lot going on with the theater. They spell it with the R in front of the E, but whatever. I'm American. Let's spell it this way. Theater plus jewelry. Okay, this seems to cause a little concern here. And then it says, look at this. And then there's a description of the jewels that she's wearing. She soon began to adorn her ears with huge rhinestones. So she's wearing a lot of jewelry now. Okay, her husband frequently remonstrated with her. All right, so you may not know what that word means. But let's think about this. What is he saying? And see if we can get a sense of what does remonstrated mean. My dear, as you cannot afford to buy real jewelry, you ought to appear adorned with your beauty and modesty alone. Okay, so it seems like he's kind of arguing with her. He's telling her, don't do this. So, husband, not happy. I'll put L, not happy with jewels. Not happy with jewels. Okay. So it's a little domestic strife here, right? Okay, and then she's but. Okay, remember there was our keyword, right? But. So he's telling her, please don't do this. But, so we know that she's not going to do it. She's not going to listen to what he had to say. All right, she would smile sweetly and say, look, are they 11? Well, okay, so it seems like she's just going to keep on wearing them. All right, one evening, she'd been, uh-oh. Next morning, she coughed, and 8 days later, she died. Wow, that was abrupt. Woo, okay. So G dies. This is getting dark real fast. He wept unceasingly. His heart was broken. All right, so obviously L is sad. Keep it simple. I mean, it seems it's a little deeper than that, but we're just kind of getting a sense of the story. So she dies. He's sad. Time did not, fancy word. His grief, well, think about it. Everything remained as it was. So what do you think time is going? So it seems he's not getting over it, right? Not getting over it. Okay, so that's what's going on here. And then here's one. Okay, so we have a but. All right, so now it's a plot twist, right? So what's going to happen next? But life soon became a struggle. Ooh, okay, so he looks like one morning found himself without a cent in his pocket. He resolved to sell something. Okay, so it looks like he's struggling for money. Okay, plot twist, broke. I'm going to put broke. Okay, no money. Okay, what's he going to do next? He sells something, immediately thought of disposing of his wife's paste jewels, for he cherished in his heart a sort of rancor against these deceptions, which had always irritated him in the past. The very sight of them spoiled somewhat the memory of his lost darling. Okay, so these choices of words, right? How the author is describing these jewels, or at least this character's attitude toward them, it's very negative, isn't it? They irritated him, spoils his memory, their deceptions, rancor. Okay, he wants to sell jewels, and he's not, he doesn't like them. That was kind of a plot point at the beginning, right? That we had his fault with the theater and the jewelry. He didn't want her to be wearing these gaudy type things. Okay, the last days of her life, she continued to make purchases. So it looks like here what's going. He's deciding to sell action, right? Deciding to sell the heavy necklace. So let's see what happens next. He puts it in his pocket, goes to a jeweler's shop, and he says, okay, so he asks, he's feeling a little ashamed right now. Sir, I would like to know what this is worth. All right, sell jewels. Let's see what happens. The man took the necklace, examined it, called his clerk, looked at it. Okay, so it looks like this is taking a while for this guy to make up his mind about what he's going to price this jewel here. Okay, annoyed, right? Here's an attitude word. He says, oh, okay, I know it's not worth anything. The jeweler says, sir, the necklace is worth 12 to 15,000 francs. Ooh, okay, so this is actually quite valuable. But I could not buy it unless you tell me exactly where it came from. Okay, so unexpectedly, let's put the sell jewels. Turns out jewels are actually valuable. Are not fake. Which was what he assumed at the beginning. Jewels are not fake. Oh, dum-da-dum-da-dum. Plot twist. Okay, let's see what happens. The widower opened his eyes wide and gaping, not comprehending. Finally, he stammered. You say, are you sure? He's astonished. Took up the necklace and left the store. Okay, so the attitude of L is flabbergasted. It's dumbfounded. He's astonished, right? Shocked. And the story ends. All right, so we don't know what he's going to do next. But let's think about the plot flow here. So we have the plot basically is, boy meets girl, they get married, they're happy, there's a little bit of strife with certain things going on, girl dies, boy is absolutely inconsolable, can't get over it, he's broke, decides to sell these hated jewels that he thought were just ridiculous and fake. Turns out they're not fake, and he's just, his world is turned upside down. Okay, so that's the basic plot. And the characters as described, we have, it seems like the doting husband who has this stable little job somewhere, and this seemingly now mysterious woman, this girl that appeared to be at the beginning, description, be very innocent and pure, but turns out that somehow she ended up getting, and they made the point of saying, we can't afford to buy these real jewelry, right? Right here? Can't afford to buy this, so why are we wearing these fake things? But it turns out they actually were not fake, they were real, so what's going on here? Mystery. The plot thickens. Of course, they left us with a cliffhanger. Who knows what happens next? But that's basically how you would map this out. All right. Now, this video is getting a little bit long, but let's go ahead and try to do some of the questions. So let's run through the line here. All right. So number one, as used in line 5, angelic most nearly means what? Well, prediction-wise, let's look at line 5 for a minute here. When I asked about half a word, that appeared in this description where we had the description was the girl was thought, innocent and pure. It says, her simple beauty had the charm of angelic modesty. Well, let's not overthink this. I mean, if something is angelic modesty, I mean, what would we think here? Simple, pure, beautiful, holy, spiritual almost, right? Angelic. Let's see what would work. Invisible. Well, that doesn't seem to make sense. Generous. Now, religious, I mean, angelic, that could mean religious, but what about innocent? I think that makes more sense. Innocent beauty rather than religious beauty. I'm not really sure what a religious beauty would be. But yes, so the answer choice should be an innocent beauty. Okay, let's do the next one. The author describes Major Langton's wife early in the marriage as what? Well, what was the description? It seemed like she was innocent and beautiful, and what else do they say about her? You know, that he was very happy with her. She governed his household with such clever economy. They seemed to live with luxury, so she seemed like she's pretty frugal with money. What else do we have? Okay, well, it's not wealthy for sure. Artistic. Nowhere does it talk about her being artistic, so that's out. Flighty is kind of a negative word, right? That doesn't sound very positive. That's not it. And even if we're not entirely sure what this word means, just by process of elimination, it's got to be this one. But yes, frugal really means careful with money. And that does fit with this line. Oh, actually, let's not give that away. Because look at this. Oh, no, actually, never mind. I'm bouncing around here. But yeah, the line where it says that she governed his household with such clever economy that they seemed to live in luxury. Okay, so economy is an old-fashioned word for, you know, that you're careful with where your money goes. Okay, so that would it. Let's see. The passage suggests that Langton believed the jewels to be false because what? Well, let's think about this. Why did he think? Where could we look at that would indicate why he would think the jewels were fake? It seems like it was kind of right here, in this section here. My dears, you cannot afford to buy real jewelry. We shouldn't wear the fake ones. Okay, so it means like they don't really have enough money. Let's out this. So it looks like the thing that fits with that right off the bat is A. They did not have enough money to buy these jewels. All right? What about 4? Oh, and this is one of those things. Command of evidence questions. Which choice provides the best evidence? Well, I think we already know it's got to be those lines 35, 33 through 38, right? Her husband frequently, because that's the part where it talks about they don't have the money. Her husband frequently remonstrated with her, saying, "My dears, we cannot afford to buy blah, 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 blah." So it's got to be D. Now, just quick pause here for a minute. I know this video is getting long, but this is one of those paired passage ideas or command of evidence type questions, where if you get an answer for 3, like say you thought it was this one, that his wife preferred costume jewelry to real jewels, they're going to ask you, well, where in the passage do you have evidence for that? Where does it actually say that she prefers to wear costume jewelry to real jewels, or, you know, whatever your answer choice might be? If you can't find something that matches with it, then we know that choice has to be wrong. Okay, so just be very careful with those. But usually, if you've mapped out your passage pretty well, you should be able to answer the first question right off the bat, and then you know that, oh yeah, then the other passage lines fit with that. Anyway, okay, let's move on real quickly. 5. These lines right here, he wept, suggest which of the following is true. Well, we had that part right here. He wept unceasingly, his heart was broken. Well, he's very sad and not getting over the death of his wife. So which of these would fit with that? Let's see. It says he holds a grudge due to his... No, that wouldn't work. He's profoundly depressed after his wife. That seems about right. He idealized his wife, which so far seems to be good, and overlooked her flaws. No, that doesn't fit, because he was pointing out his disapproval of the jewelry in theater, so that's out. He is resilient and will find happiness. Well, no, doesn't seem to match with our map there. So it should be B. And then, okay, another command of evidence here. Which choice provides the best evidence? I think it's really just the same thing. I think it's these lines 47 to 49, right? Because that's where it talks about him just weeping and not getting over his wife. So that's that. All right. As used in line 61, rancor most nearly means what? Well, we know in the context. That was this part about the jewels, right? For he cherished in his heart a sort of rancor against these deceptions, which had always irritated him in the past. So we know that's got to be a negative word. And it seems like he wants to get rid of these fake jewels because he hates them, and it reminds him of stuff that he wasn't so thrilled about with his wife. So it seems like kind of like a grudge, right? Sort of just anger against these things. Let's find a word that's kind of negative here. Let's see. We got passion, but that's not necessarily negative. That's out. Prejudice, maybe. Warning,